Smile for the camera. Has anyone ever said that to you? To smile or not to smile can be sometimes the most painful last-minute decision right before taking a selfie. So my friend and colleague and I, Diane Cleverly, want to make it a little less painful for you. Thanks, Diane, for being here.
Hi, Vanessa. You're welcome.
So Diane is one of our certified Science People body language trainers. She's also a healthcare advocate. So she teaches patients how to communicate with their physicians and has spent the past 2 decades in medical communications, pharmaceutical companies, patients, doctors, navigating the complex world of healthcare. Diane, what made you undertake a study on smiling and selfies?
That is a great question, Vanessa. It's a little bit out of my wheelhouse, but that Google Arts and Culture app came out. It's a great app, really interesting information on there. And it was like Martin Luther King Day. And I was looking through my social media and I noticed all these great pictures and it just fascinated me. And I was scrolling through and you're just seeing rows and rows of these photos. And it's really nice to see all the pictures. But I just noticed there was a contrast between people who were taking a very neutral expression and then people who were like smiling, for the camera. And there were so many pictures. I thought this is a great way to see if there's a difference between some people that were neutral expression who seemed to be mostly male, right, and then some that were smiling. And some of the smiles were very, the Pan Am smile, which we'll talk about in a minute, but that I caught on to for the women. So I really wanted to dissect the difference in the genders between this Pan Am smile and this neutral expression that really predominated with the men and see if that was true or not.
So the big question is, and I think, we talk about this a lot in our body language program, yes, of why smiling is important and also the different kinds of smiles. So walk me through, are there different kinds of smiles? Why is smiling important? Why does it matter?
Yeah, so the one thing that you taught me that really stuck with me about smiling, which is really cool, and right after you taught me this, I walked into a gym. So this huge gym. Okay. And you told me that smiling is the only micro-expression you can see from 300 feet away.
Yep.
And the next day, I walked into a gym and I saw a friend of mine all the way across the gym. And the minute he saw me, the big smile came out and I went, she's right. It's about 300 feet. So I knew it.
And this is really important, too, because as humans, if we're approaching another person, we're trying to decide, is this person safe? Are they going to be friend or foe? And so the whites of our teeth and these giant, the big apples of our cheeks when we smile, it's like a big flash. It's like, yep, friend, friend, friend. And we don't see the whites of someone's teeth. It makes us a little bit wary. So yeah, smiling is our best and biggest social signal. That's really what it is. And so that's why I really was happy that you were studying how are we social signaling in these photos and why are there differences? Why do people not smile at all?
Exactly. And so it was really interesting to me. I loved the idea of smiling. And then we learned a little bit more about smiling when we got more in depth, was that there's different kinds of smiles. And so that's when we learned about the 2 different types of smiles.
So what are the 2 different kinds? I know that you call one of them a Pan Am smile. What are the different kinds that we can learn
from? The Pan Am smile was a name that I learned in the research, was named after the stewardesses of the old Pan Am Airlines. And you've probably had this experience yourself when you're walking on the plane and they're just standing there and passenger after passenger is going by. And they're like, welcome to our airline, welcome to our airline. And it's just the smile of the mouth. It's only the mouth and it's yes. And they're so tired and they've been doing this for years and it's just almost, fixed on there.
And they do it because, the intention is good, right? The stewardesses are trying to welcome all the passengers coming from all the way down the gangplank, right? All the way up. And so they're showing the smile, right? Friend, friend, friend. But the problem is they have to have it plastered on their face for so long that they don't actually feel the happiness. So while the smile is on the bottom half of the face, it doesn't reach all the way up to the top. And so Pan Am smile, fake smile, that's it's not my favorite thing to see.
Right.
Right. That's not actually genuine. So when you embarked on the study, kind of before you tell me about the study, what was your hypothesis? What did you think you would find?
Well, I thought there might be a gender difference. Okay. And that had been sparked by another recent study that had come out that said that, and I don't know, and we can talk a little bit about this, whether this study is true or not, that women find men who don't smile attractive and that men find women who smile attractive. So I was kind of interested in that when I was looking at the pictures. I thought, wow, all these men are non-smiling. Is it because of this study? Like, has that gotten, hit the media and everyone, all the guys are trying to be brooding? Like, what's going on here? So that was really what I was interested in dissecting.
And I also think that I think that, just from a cultural perspective, I think that also women really want to make friends. We want to be likable. We want to please people. We have much bigger problems with pleasing people. And so we smile to try to make friends more quickly, whereas men don't have that push on them as much. Mm-hmm. And so they're okay just taking a picture and not smiling, not having to signal friend to everyone who sees them.
Yeah.
So you were looking for maybe some gender differences, seeing if you could repeat that study of maybe men do it and that's more attractive. What did you actually do? Walk me through the mechanics of where you got your data, how you parsed the data. Right. Yeah.
So basically, I started out looking, just like I said, it was very informal, and I was like, oh, let me look on the one social media, which was Google+.
Yeah.
There weren't a lot of, because I think that's my favorite social media.
I know.
So there weren't a lot of people posting there, but someone clued me in and said, no, go to Instagram. There's a lot on Instagram and on Twitter.
Yep.
So I went to Twitter, I went to Instagram, and I went to Google+, and I found I found 352. Those. Yeah, and there was a lot of men and women. It was about equal ratio, which I was glad about to see. And so then I just went through and what I could discern as far as who was smiling. If it was a child, like, an infant or a child, I would not do that one. If it was somebody making a face, because I have one friend who yes, he has this face. We call it the Obi face, and he just makes this face. So he did not make it into the study.
So basically, you're cleaning up the data, right? You're like looking at data. Yeah. You're like, if it's a child, if it's
excluded.
Excluded, right? To hopefully make the results.
Exclusion criteria. That's right.
Yeah.
They had to be a clearly definable neutral face, Pan Am smile, or Duchenne smile, which is the.
And so,
we didn't talk about that.
Yeah. Let's talk about that one.
So the Duchenne smile is the apples of the certain muscles, right? The apples of the cheek, and the eyes,
right?
The
little crow's feet.
Yay! So crow's feet are good, right?
Yeah, crow's feet are good.
Crow's feet are good.
Yeah.
So crow's feet and the apples of the cheek are engaged, and that's the warmth. That's that warm smile that when you see, it makes you want to smile back. Right. And when I was looking at these pictures and I would see someone with that real smile, there were times and I would be literally sitting there going, oh
cute.
And smile back, oh, hi.
It's contagious, right? Those smiles are very contagious. So you were coding the photos for the 3 different categories, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, giving them a label.
Exactly. So they got sorted into those, and then I just tallied them up and did a percentage, and I did a chi-square analysis and I actually found a statistically significant difference.
So this is fancy math, which we don't have to go into the fancy math, but
no.
But the important thing is that you did find a statistically significant difference between the genders. Yeah. What was it? What were the results?
So basically what I found, and I'm not going to go into the, like I said, like the nitty gritty of it, but what was really interesting, right, is that 7 in 10 men favored a neutral expression.
It's a lot.
That's a lot. 7 in 10 men favored the neutral expression. So most of them were just taking the neutral expression, where more than half of the women were smiling in some form.
Okay.
So right there, that really tells you all you need to know. That's like the bulk of it. Most of the men are doing neutral. Most of the women are smiling in some form.
Yes.
Okay.
And that backs up the research that you mentioned at the very beginning, which is that we don't know why. It could be that men feel more attractive that way, that women find them more attractive that way. It also could be a cultural thing that women feel more pressured to smile. I was so shocked when you shared with me that it was 7 in 10 men were neutral, because I don't think I've taken 7 pictures in my life where I was neutral.
No, I haven't.
I've actually, when I have a selfie or someone takes a picture, it is painful for me not to smile. Even at like the airport or like at gyms when they ask to take your photo, I'm always like, I'm an open mouth smiler, which is like even worse, and we could talk about that for days. So what's kind of the takeaway here? I mean, I think it's really interesting to know the gender differences. What do we think take away from this study?
I think and the other thing is that, remember, this was not a social setting. These apps hit. I think this is really important because I think we talk about all we can want about social pressure. These people, the app hit on Sunday night.
Mm-hmm.
These people were home. You could see in the background, half of these pictures were taking people lying on the couch. I mean, they were chilling out on Sunday night.
Yeah.
The purpose of the app was to compare them to famous portraits.
Right.
Even more so. I mean, these were not people who were under social pressure to be, taking, I'm with my friends, I'm happy, whatever. They're just chilling out on the couch.
And they still felt it.
Home alone. And they were still, more than half of the women were smiling in some form or other, and all of the men were just neutral. So I think it just says that women just naturally smile when that camera's on.
So
what is that?
It made me actually want to reevaluate my default to smiling. I think this is maybe the takeaway is, first of all, do you have a default, right? When the camera pops open or someone's like, hey, I want to take a picture. Is your default to smile or go neutral? My default, without even thinking, is to smile and smile big, as big as I can, sometimes even open mouth. And I don't actually think that that's always genuine or authentic, because sometimes I don't feel like smiling, but I do it anyway, right?
Yeah.
Where I might just want to have a casual face and be okay with it. So I think what it made me really think about is, think about your default. You don't always have to smile. For men especially, you really don't have to feel pressure to smile at all. And that we should be a little bit more purposeful in when someone says, hey, smile. It's not always a command. It's maybe just a suggestion. That's kind of how I took it. Anything you want to add on that?
I think that's a great takeaway. I do want to say that, think about what you want to get across, but also don't be afraid to smile. There was an equal number of men and women, roughly, a little bit more women, that had that real authentic smile.
Okay.
That were able to do that. And I think, the fact that that's so rare in men, that maybe men, on the other hand, should see if they can call that up and really come that across. Because the truth is, on those pictures in certain situations, as a man, you might want to get that warmth across.
Right.
And it's more charismatic as a leader, as, a LinkedIn profile or a social media or maybe a dating profile. You really don't want to be that intimidating. Maybe you want that warm profile thing. And maybe that skewed the results. Maybe the men just aren't that good at smiling. Maybe it's that women find men more attractive who don't smile. Maybe the men are trying to smile or given these creepy fake smiles, and they just don't know how to do the warm smiles, and they need to practice that and learn that and be taught that.
So there is, I think that's our perfect bottom line here, is if you genuinely feel like smiling, don't withhold it. If you genuinely don't feel like smiling, don't try to dial it up or be something you're not, because you're just a Pan Am stewardess. Right? Own it, make sure that you're feeling it for the right situation, and don't feel pressured either way, and don't only go with your default. No Pan-Amming. None. Oh my goodness. Diane, thank you so much for joining me on my YouTube channel. Everyone in the comments, let me know below, do you typically default to a neutral face, a fake smile, or a real smile? I'd be curious, and if you're willing to change that up a little bit to try something new. All right, everyone. Thanks so much. Bye. Okay, so it's the end of the video and I have to ask you for a favor. Would you mind subscribing to our channel right here? You see, we don't want you to miss any videos, and we are so close to hitting our YouTube subscriber goal. We would so appreciate your help. Sending a hug all the way from us to you. Just imagine it. We're hugging you. Feels so good.